Welcome friends. In the next lecture on complex variable, in the previous lecture we have studied the analytic function and harmonic functions. Also we have studied the Cauchy-Riemann equations in polar form. In today's lecture we are going to see the problems based on the analytic function. If the real part is provided, then how to find the corresponding analytic function. Such type of questions we are going to discuss. So let's begin with some examples which were frequently asked in the university examination. Okay, the question is, show that u is equal to x raised to 4 minus 6x square y square plus y raised to 4 is harmonic function and find the corresponding analytic function. F of z, where u is a real part of it. Okay, so we have to calculate such a f of z for which your u is a real part. Now, there are various methods by which you can get the corresponding analytic function. But in our syllabus, we are going to study the Milne-Thomson method of calculating the corresponding analytic function. So first, our job is to show that the function is a harmonic, and then we are going for the analytic function calculation of the analytic function. So u is equal to x raised to 4 minus 6x square y square plus y raised to 4. Its first order partial derivative ux is equal to 4x cube, that is derivative of x raised to 4 with respect to x, minus 6x square y square. Here the term of x is x square whose derivative is 2x. So 2 into 6, that is 12x y square we get, plus derivative of y raised to 4 with respect to x is 0 because x is not present in this term, so it is treated as a constant. Next, uy is equal to x raised to 4, the derivative will be 0 because there is no y term present. Again same, y square derivative is 2y, 6 into 2, that is 12x square y plus 4y cube. So this is our ux and this is our uy. Now what we are going to do is, we have to check the function is harmonic or not. So to check the function is harmonic, we require the second order derivatives. So we go for the uxx, that is second order derivative. Here the x cube derivative is 3x square, 3 into 4, that is 12x square minus 12y square. Similarly, the second order partial derivative, that means again I am going to differentiate this term with respect to y. While differentiating with respect to y, here the derivative of y will be 1, so we get minus 12x square plus here the derivative will be 12y square. Okay, now to check whether the function is harmonic or not, we check the Laplace's equation. The Laplace's equation is uxx plus uyy is equal to 0. So we consider the LHS. LHS is equal to uxx plus uyy, which is equals to 12x square minus 12y square. From uyy it is minus 12x square plus 12y square, whose addition will be 0. Therefore, u is harmonic. Therefore, the function u is a harmonic function. Now we have to calculate an analytic function. Okay. So to find the analytic function f of z, what is required? See, here the u is given. U is treated as a real part of a f of z. Okay. So whenever the function is analytic, it is differentiable, or we can calculate its derivative in the way of ux minus iui. We have seen total 4 different statements of getting the f dash of z. One of the statement is ux plus ivx, another statement is vy plus ivx, okay, then vy minus iuy, ui. So these are the four different statements for getting the f dash of z. But see, here the real part is provided, that is u. Hence what we are going to do is we are going to select a value of f dash of z where the partial derivatives of u involved. Okay. Now, so hence what I'm going to do is, okay, I already calculated the ux. I write the ux again, 4x cube minus 12xy square. We call this as phi 1 of x comma y. This is a function of x and y. Ui is equal to minus 12x square y plus 4y cube. This will be called as a phi 2 of x comma y. Okay. Now, as f of z is analytic, we know that f dash of z is equal to ux minus iui, which is nothing but the value of ux is called as a phi 1. So phi 1 of x comma y minus I times phi 2 of x comma y. By Milne-Thomson method, put x is equal to z and y is equal to 0 in this. We get f dash of z is equal to phi 1 of z comma 0 minus I times phi 2 of z comma 0. Now what is phi 1 of xy? This is the value of phi 1 of xy. You substitute x as z and y equal to 0 here. Similarly, x is equal to z and y equal to 0 here. Therefore, we get 4 times z cube minus 12z into 0 square minus I times phi 2. Here minus 12 z square into 0 plus 4 into 0 cube. Are you clear with this? So hence the value of f dash of z is 4z cube. Now this is a derivative of f of z with respect to z. So integrate with respect to z on both sides. Therefore we get f dash of, after integrating we get f of z is equal to integration of 4z cube dz plus c, which is nothing but 4z raised to 4 upon 4 plus c. Therefore, the expected analytic function f of z is equal to z raised to 4 plus c. Okay, so this is how one can calculate the given the analytic function corresponding to the given u. Okay, now in similar way one can find out the analytic function corresponding to one can find out the analytic function if the imaginary part is provided. Okay, so one more example we would like to do in this way. V is equal to tan inverse of y upon x. Okay, V is equal to tan inverse of y upon x. Okay, now the value of f dash of z in terms of V is given by Vy plus I times Vx. Okay, Vy plus I times Vx. So see there, we require the partial derivative of v with respect to y, partial derivative of v with respect to x. So first I am going to calculate Vy here. So what is Vy? The derivative of tan inverse is 1 upon 1 plus y upon x square into partial derivative of y upon x with respect to y. On simplification, we get the derivative as x upon x square plus y square. We call this as a phi 1 of x comma y. See, in case of the u is given, we call ux, that is partial derivative of u with respect to x, as a phi 1. And here we are calling the partial derivative of v with respect to y as a phi 1. So that's the difference, because the first term here expected is vy. Now vx. the Vx will be 1 upon 1 plus y upon x square, that is partial derivative of tan inverse with respect to x, we are calculating here, into dabba by dabba x of y upon x is equal to, on simplification we get x square upon x square plus y square into partial derivative of y upon x is y as it is, derivative of 1 upon x is minus 1 upon x square. So hence the answer is minus y divided by x square plus y square, and we call this as a phi 2 of x comma y. As the function f of z is analytic, as the function f of z is analytic, therefore f dash of z exists, and f dash of z is given by vy plus I times vx. Therefore f dash of z is also written as phi 1 of x comma y plus I times phi 2 of x comma y. By Milne-Thomson method, put x is equal to z and y is equal to 0. Therefore f dash of z becomes, see, this is my phi 1 where I am going to substitute x equal to z and y equal to 0. Therefore we get z upon z square plus 0 square plus I times, this is our phi 2. In phi 2 we are going to substitute y as a 0. So we get 0 divided by z square plus 0 square. So of course this term is going to be a 0, and here I am getting z upon z square. So z upon z square is nothing but 1 upon z. F dash of z is equal to 1 upon z. Now integrate with respect to z on both sides. We get f of z is equal to integration of 1 upon z dz plus integrating factor, which gives me log z plus c. So this is the expected analytic function corresponding to imaginary part v is equal to tan inverse y upon x. Okay. Now further, if somebody asks you how you will test whether the v stands for the imaginary part of this, it's a very simple. I just start with f of z as a log z, considering that integrating constant is 0 here. So log z is given as log of x plus iy, and by the logarithms of the complex number, one can give this as log of x square plus y square plus I times tan inverse of y upon x. Just a minute, here it is 1 by 2. Here we have the 1 by 2. 1 by 2 log of x square plus y square plus I times tan inverse of y upon x. So this is the simplification by using the logarithms of the complex number. Now see, this is your v and this is your u. So here v is provided and we are expected to calculate the corresponding analytic function f of z. So these are very simple examples which are frequently asked in the examination. In the next lecture, we would like to discuss some other examples which are very interesting and very important from the examination point of view. Thank you everyone.